Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a massive shift in how we actually build interfaces. Cloud tools like Claude Design have been the undisputed heavyweights lately, right? They've literally turned vibe designing from this fun little novelty into a serious, everyday workflow. But what if you absolutely cannot send your proprietary data over to Anthropic's servers? Well, today, we're breaking down exactly how you can transition to a fully local, self-hosted AI design workspace. And the best part? We're going to run the whole shebang entirely on a standard 8GB GPU. So here's the blueprint for our explainer today. We're going to start with the Vibe design revolution, then look at why design needs coders, check out the 8GB hardware stack, map out your local design workspace, and finally, we'll weigh the honest trade-offs. Let's just jump right in. Starting off with Section 1, the Vibe design revolution, breaking away from the cloud. Look, Claude Design practically invented this visual space for AI iteration. It's amazing, but that brilliance comes with a pretty hefty price tag and, of course, privacy concerns. We want all that power, but we want it on our own hardware. Moving to Section 2, why design needs coders, the paradigm shift. Okay, we really need to shatter this illusion of UI design in the AI era. It's not just an artist painting a canvas anymore. Underneath that shiny interface you see, the handoff to developers is purely analytical code. So I want you to challenge your own instincts for a second. Why on earth would we use a coding model for design? I mean, when you're building a local setup, your very first instinct is probably to grab a friendly creative AI model, right? Makes perfect sense. But here's the thing. If you want results you can actually use, that is the exact wrong instinct. Here is the stark reality of the situation. A creative-leaning model, yeah, it'll give you a wonderfully friendly tone and, a whole lot of emojis. But when it actually comes to generating structure, it totally falls apart. The output of any AI design tool is ultimately HTML, CSS, and React components. So the brain generating it absolutely has to be a coding brain. It needs to deeply understand things like semantic HTML and Tailwind utility classes to actually get the job done. All right, Section 3, the 8GB hardware stack, optimizing your VRAM. Now, massive, highly capable coding models are completely out of reach for a standard 8GB card. Your system will just choke, literally. But don't worry, because we have a highly strategic alternative. The crucial number you need to remember here is 5GB. That is the exact footprint of the tried and true Qwen 3.5 9B model when it's properly quantized. It's incredibly focused. Taking up only 5 gigs leaves you with 3 vital gigabytes of headroom on an 8GB card. And believe me, you desperately need that headroom for your context length and your KV cache to actually process the code without crashing. So, what's the secret sauce that makes this Qwen 9B model punch so far above its weight? It's called Gated DeltaNet architecture. Now, standard attention mechanisms scale exponentially. If you feed them a super long prompt, your VRAM just explodes until your GPU straight up crashes. But Gated DeltaNet? It scales linearly. This means you can paste an entire massive HTML file straight into your context window, and your VRAM usage stays virtually flat. It is an absolute game changer for local setups. Which brings us to Section 4, your local design workspace, the software setup. Now we get to escalate from just a bare-bones chat runner into a fully integrated live rendering wrapper. Okay, here's your baseline workflow to get started. Step 1, run your 9B model in a clean, local runner like LM Studio or Jan. Step 2, you just save that raw code output as an HTML file. And Step 3, open that file with VS Code's live server for instant visual previews. Oh, and one absolutely vital tip here, keep your model's temperature setting low. You want strict, predictable code, not some crazy creative hallucinations that are going to break your entire page layout. Now, raw code is great and all, but if we really want to replace Claude Design, you're going to need a design wrapper that manages style guides and renders everything in real time. If we look at this showdown between Open Codesign and Open Design, notice the back-end requirements. Open Design requires pretty heavy hardware and hosted APIs, but for our local 8GB setup, Open Codesign is basically the perfect desktop app. It plugs right into LM Studio and runs flawlessly. Honestly, the absolute best feature of Open Codesign is how it handles brand consistency. It uses these plain text DSIN.md files. You literally just type out your color palettes and typography choices in a text file. That's it. The local model references this document every single time it generates something, keeping your style perfectly locked in. It even successfully nails that trendy, slightly overused cursive typography that every sleek, vibe-coded website seems to have right now. It's pretty amazing to see it work locally. And finally, Section 5, The honest trade-offs, iteration versus polish. Look, moving from a billion-dollar cloud infrastructure to a local 8 GB setup definitely comes with some compromises. Let's just be pragmatic about this. So, what exactly are you giving up here? Well, you lose that magical first-try polish, for sure. You're also going to lose some sketch-to-code vision accuracy, and you miss out on those brilliant second opinions that a massive cloud model might offer. But weigh that against what you actually gain. Complete 100% privacy, total offline capability, and most importantly, unlimited free iterations. You can run 40 prompt iterations locally in the exact same amount of time and for zero cost that it takes Claude to run just 5. So I want to leave you with this thought today. With unlimited local iterations, does first-try polish even really matter? When vibe designing is inherently this super iterative process of tweaking and tuning anyway, having the freedom to experiment 40 times for free, well, that might just beat getting it right on the very first try behind a paywall. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. Go start optimizing your VRAM, try out this 9B setup, and really take control of your design process. Catch you next time.